morning. In this session, I'm going to talk about hand sanitize with the hand gel. By the end of this session, you guys will be able to do a hand hygiene while using this gel rub. So before we start a session, I need to tell you about the fire exits. So in case of fire or emergency, please go through the main door. Do not use the lift, use the stairs to meet up in the assembly point on the ground floor. All these lights which are green in color, they will light up and show you a way. There will be a fire warden which will evacuate you from this building very safely. So before we start this, there are many hazards in this room. These lights can be hazard, there will be environmental hazard, there will be cables around. So I'll try to eliminate as much as hazards as I can. So make sure you sit with the right posture, and if there's anything you would ask, please ask. If anyone wants to go use the toilet, they are free to do so. Now I'm gonna begin the session of hand hygiene with the sanitizer. So before we start, I'm gonna talk about why it's important. So why we need to do hand hygiene, why we need to make sure hands are clean. So why we need to keep the sanitizer maybe in our pocket or our bag when we go out in the shopping center, why we need to clean our hands. So to help countries and healthcare facilities to achieve system change and adopt alcohol-based hand rubs as the gold standard for hand hygiene in healthcare. WHO has identified formulation for their local preparation, like logistics, economic safety, culture, and religious factor have all been carefully considered by WHO before recommending such formulation for worldwide. WHO recommendation alcohol-based hand rub, there are some factors that we need to discuss. First, there are evidence-based that we need to perform a hand hygiene. We need to make sure our hands are clean due to advantage of fast-acting and broad-spectrum microbial activities with the minimal risk of generating resistance to antimicrobial agents. So the sustainability of these gel rubs for the use is resource limited or remote areas with lack of accessibility to sinks or other facilities for hand hygiene. In case of we don't have the accessibility to the sink or water, this is a very effective way to keep our hand nice and clean. Promote improved compliance with hand hygiene by making the process faster and more convenient. Economic benefit by reducing annual cost for the hand hygiene. Minimization of risk for adverse event because of increased safety associated with better accessibility and tolerance than other products. So this is a very effective and a safe gel that we can use to clean our hands. So as the bottle says, it's a biodegradable formula which kills most of the common germs on our hands. And this aseptic gel helps reduce bacteria and fungi that may cause illness. Used to supplement routine hand washing when soap and water are not available, meets the requirement for the use in healthcare environment. And this is by WHO standards of Australia, and it's proven to use as a hand disinfectant in Australia. So before we go any further, we're going to perform a little activity. Sapna, why do you think it's important to clean our hands?
I guess it's important to be free from germs, microorganisms, or any kinds of bacteria.
That's good. That's a very good answer. So, as Sapna said, we need to make sure we are free from any bacteria or microorganism. So Sapna, where do you think we carry the most of bacteria on our body?
I guess we mostly use our hands. So the most easiest way of getting in contact with microorganisms and will be hand, I guess.
That's it. That's right. That's correct, Sapna. So the hands are the most body part which are prone to all the infections because we use our hand with all the activities. If we're touching somebody, we're using our hand. If we're sneezing, we're using our hand. Wiping, we're using our hand. Even sitting on this chair, we use our hand to sit down. So we don't know how many bacteria are in this chair. So we need to make sure whenever we're touching surrounding, whenever we have been in a hospital environment, we need to make sure our hands are clean and we touch unlimited things, and when we get out, we clean our hands first. So first, so I'm gonna demonstrate how to hand rub, okay? So hand rub, as in the picture, we can see, we need to take enough of the product on our palm, then we're gonna go into circular motion on our hand, but then we're gonna interlace our fingers on top and then on the back and vice versa. Then we're gonna, with the closed fist, we're gonna clean, make sure our nails are clean. Then we're gonna do our thumbs. After that, we're gonna clean in the middle of our hands, and then our hands are clean. So first, I am going to demonstrate you how to do a hand rub. Okay, so I'm gonna take enough chemical on the palm of my hand, then I'm gonna rub on my palm, then we're gonna be interlaced finger, we're gonna clean in between the finger, then we're gonna go behind the finger, behind our hands, make sure both our hands clean from the back and from the front. Then I'm gonna do around the thumb, then the other thumb, and then at the end we're gonna make sure our hands are clean, our palms are clean, and then this is our hand. So now we're gonna perform an activity. Sapna, if you would able to come here and show me if you'd be able to perform hand rub gel.
Okay. As per the procedure,
I'll hold it.
okay. Take enough sanitizer or gel.
Yeah, and you can follow this,
Okay.
the poster.
Okay. Rub your hands and also on the back, also on the other hand, and in between both hands. Then rub the thumb, rotate around the thumb, and twist, and also tip of the finger to palm. Same for the other one. And here, your hands are clean.
Okay. So do you think why we think we need to be bare hand?
Oh, just to prevent from getting any contact with microorganism.
Yeah, that's perfectly right. Come sit down, Sapna. So if we are wearing any jewelry on our hands, let's say we have rings on, so it won't be clean underneath. So it will be clean around it, but as per Australian hand hygiene standard, we need to make sure that we are free of any jewelry on our hands. So we don't have any rings on our hands. We're not wearing too much bangles. We need to be bare under elbow. So we're not wearing very long sleeve shirts, that can carry germs. Also our nails need to be very important. So we need to make sure our nails are natural. There is no color. There is no acrylic gel on the nails. So it needs to be trimmed right back, and so that there is no where can microorganism hide. So they'll be natural, and once we perform a hand gel, it will be all nice and clean. So now we're going to talk about how it's important and especially the industry we work in, how hand rub is very helpful. So when we, in a day-to-day life, even for work or when you are outside shopping, we need to make sure that we are doing a proper hand hygiene. So alcohol-based hand rub is a recommended product for hand hygiene in healthcare center when hands are visibly clean. So if they, you can see it looks clean, but they're not actually clean. So we need to perform the hand rub when we think our hands are visibly clean. So when alcohol-based hand rubs should be used when hands are visibly clean instead of hand washing, because they are substantially reduced bacterial counts on hand. It required less time than a hand washing. It is more accessible. They are self-drying, are gentle on skin and cause less skin irritation and dryness. Since all hand rubs contain a skin moisturizer, so all these hand rubs that we use in Australia, they have a moisturizer in them. So we don't feel our hands are dry once we've done the hand rub. Alcohol-based hand rubs have excellent antimicrobial activity against gram-positive and gram-negative vegetative bacteria, and good antimicrobial activity against enveloped viruses. Alcohol solution containing 60 to 80% alcohol are most effective. It has been well established that alcohol effectively reduces the bacterial count on hands better than soap and water. Alcohol-based hand rubs are most effective against bacteria and many viruses than either medication or non-medicated soaps. Alcohol hand rubs is the hand hygiene product of choice for all standard aseptic procedures. Ensuring alcohol hand-based rub is available at the point of care improves hand hygiene compliance. Alcohol-based hand rubs should be easily accessible, generally within arm reach of where patient care treatment is taking place. So they should be very accessible when you work in the aged care. It should be, there should be display package, should be all around the facility where you can just touchless hand hygiene sanitizer. You can just get a hand sanitizer by putting your hand underneath, and then you can performing it the way we were discussed earlier. It should take 10 to 20 seconds. You should take a hand rub and then rub around your hand and then gently on your fingers, making sure all the fingers clean in between. Then we're going behind our hands on the both sides. Then we're cleaning a thumb, making sure it's nice and clean. And then our hand will be dry and they will be clean. So, So generally, these are some factors that we're going to talk about more about the hand-based rubs. The maximum size of an individual alcohol-based hand dispenser should not exceed 500 mils. So it should. So this is the 351. The recommended one shouldn't exceed more than 500 mils. So no more than 80 individual alcohol-based hand rub dispensers installed in the compartments. Dispenser should not project more than 5 centimeters into corridor edges. So this is the basic consideration that we need to keep in our mind when we're working anywhere. Also working, now we're going to do one small activity where we're going to write down, so you can tell me and I can write down what are the process of a hand rub. So hand rub. So when you think it's important to do the hand rub, You can give me any point, Sapna?
At the age care setting.
Yeah, that's it. Edge healthcare setting. We need to make sure if we are entering an aged care, our hands are nice and clean. So where else we need to make sure we use the hand rub?
Before and after touching any objects.
Yeah, so before and after touching. Any other you can name?
After coming in contact with some body fluids.
Yes, yes. Yeah, good. So after in contact yes. Anywhere else?
After toilet.
Yes, very good.
If no access.
After using the toilet. Yeah,
And before and after eating food.
yes. Yeah. How about when we go shopping? You think once we finish our shopping, we need to use the hand rub? Yes, because we don't know how many people have touched that trolley. How many people have used those trolleys since we have been? So anything else you relate to hand rub? So where we can do hand rub, especially if you're working here in an aged care. Do you know if there's any government recommendation for hand hygiene?
No. I guess, yeah.
Yes. So it's recommended by WHO, yeah, that we should perform. So all the aged care facilities, they have to comply with the WHO law for hand hygiene, for hand rub. So we need to complete an assessment documents and store them, so to show government that the staff who's working here, they've been following the right procedures for the hand rub. Okay, you think you want to add any after in that, Sapna?
No, I guess.
Okay,
I'm
so
not-
that's very good. I think we covered most of them. So most of them, that's right. This is where, so if you're going into a healthcare setting, we make sure when we're coming out, we do a hand rub. And then before touching any residents, we need to make sure we hand rub. After touching them, we make sure we clean a hand. After, if there's any incontinence, so this one maybe no, because this is visibly dirty. So if it's visibly dirty, we need to go wash a hand with the water and soap. So we can use a rub when it's visibly clean. So when they're visibly clean, that we cannot see with our eyes, then we need to use the hand rub. So in this case, we will wash our hand with soap and water. Okay? Then after using toilet, yes. This one too, we make sure that we do with soap and water. Yeah, before and after touching or eating food, you can use a hand rub. Make sure your hands are nice and clean. So, as we were discussing about the hand rub, now we're going to show you, I'm going to write down the steps that we need to follow for a hand rub. So, Sapna, we're gonna do an activity here. You can think and you can tell me the steps that we use for hand rub. What do you think is the first step?
I guess first step is applying a hand gel sanitizer.
So we apply hand rub on. Okay, we apply hand rub. This is the first step. So it's normally take. How long you think it take, Sapna?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Perfect. So it takes 30 seconds to complete the hand rub. So the first step is apply hand rub. So we're going to take the sanitizer on our hand, and then do you remember the second step, Sapna?
Yeah, it's rubbing our palm.
Yes. So then we're gonna rub the sanitizer to our palm. Rubbing on palm. So we're gonna put the sanitizer on our hand, then we're gonna rub on our palm. So the next step, do you remember the next step, Sapna?
Putting one hand over other and interlacing them.
Yes. So we interlacing.
Fingers.
Yes. And vice versa. We're gonna do on both hands. So we're going to put the rub on our hand. We're gonna rub on the palm. Then we're going to interlace our finger and we're going to clean one hand. Then we're going to clean the other hand. So from there, what's the next step, Sapna?
Interlacing the finger backwards.
Yes. So now interlacing fingers backwards. Now we're going to take our fingers, we're going to clean from behind our hands, making sure all the areas around here, they're all nice and clean. So is there anything we need to, can we wear any rings while we're doing hand hygiene?
No.
No. So we need to make sure we are bare hand. How about the nails? How would the nail, can we have some extensions?
No.
No. So our nails need to be natural when we perform. And short. Perfect, Sapna. And we need to make sure they are short and they are natural. So, do you think there's any other step after that?
Yes.
Yes.
Interlocking fingers.
Yeah. Then we're going to interlock our fingers
and rubbing them.
and rubbing. So we're going to interlock our fingers and then we're going to rub our fingers like that. Make sure all the nails here, they're clean. So we're going to do on both hands, one side, and then after that, we're going to do the other side. So, is there any step after that? Do you know if there's any step after that, Sapna?
Yeah, rubbing our thumb.
Yes.
Both the thumbs.
So we're going to do rubbing on both thumbs. So then we're going to make sure we're going to clean both the thumbs. Yeah, and then this is our clean hands. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and now our hands are clean. Okay, now I'm going to show you one more time with the gel. So we're going to take the gel on our palm. So apply the hand rub. So I've applied the hand rub. Now rubbing on palm. So we're going to rub on the palm on the both sides. Gonna make sure we rub. Then we're gonna interlace our finger on both sides, making sure we're cleaning in between our finger. Then we're gonna interlace backward. So we're gonna make sure back of our hands are all clean. Now we're going to interlock our fingers and we're going to rub on both sides. After that, we're going to rub on our thumbs, and this, by end of this, a hand should be dry, moisturized and clean, because these rubs, they have a natural moisturizer in them, so that as we clean our hand, we did not feel any overdue moisture or any dryness on our hand. So Sapna, would you be able to come here and perform a hand rub for us?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, the first step
So would you
is-
be able to describe all of the methods first?
Yeah. A hand rub is a basic procedure to make sure we are free from microorganisms. These are the steps that we are going to follow, and this process lasts for 30 seconds, usually 20 to 30 seconds. The first thing we have to make sure is no rings on the hand. I'm so sorry, but I think I can take it out. And the first one is to apply the hand rub. We have to
You can
Yes,
just
mhm.
describe first and then maybe show. So
Okay.
can you just describe the methods first?
Okay, the first one is apply hand rub. We have to take proper amount of the gel so that we can apply it over the hands. And the second one is rubbing onto the palm. That is, after placing the hand rub on the hands, we are supposed to spread it all over the palms. And third one is interlacing fingers. That is, you have to take the sanitizer, you have to place it over the other hand and clean in between the fingers of both the hands. The other one is interlacing finger backwards. That is, we have to do the same thing on the back side of the hand. And the next one is interlocking fingers and rubbing. That is, place two of the hands, they are locked, fingers are locked in between, and we have to make sure we rub them in order to make our tip of the finger clean. Then the other one is rubbing on both thumb. That is, rub by making a rounder circle edge that makes the thumb cleaner. Then last one, after all these procedures, the last thing is your hands are clean.
Good. Can you demonstrate with the rub now?
Yes, sure. Okay, the same thing, fingers, our rings are taken out, and apply proper amount of hand sanitizer. Place it, rub, and make sure they are interlaced, both the hands, and backwards and backwards. Now it's the time for interlocking your hands. Interlock and rub the thumb, rotate, make sure you do it well, and finally your hands are clean.
Well done. So thank you, Sapna. For the hand rubs, as we discussed, these are the things that we follow. If our hands are visibly clean, we're using hand rub. Hand rubs are very effective when you're out, when you're in a sector, when you're going out for shopping, when you're cleaning residence, when you're going from one patient to other, we can just quickly do a hand sanitizer. At the end, I would like to talk about so cleaning your hand with the rub keep you healthy and prevent the spread of the infections. So germ can spread from person to person, from surface to people when you touch your eyes, nose with your unclean hand. So this is where we take the infection and then we spread it everywhere in our body. So as we discussed the safe way and effective way of hand rubbing, at the end of this session, we're going to talk about how it's very effective in a hospital setting or in your daily life. Hand hygiene methods using alcohol-based hand rub liquids have been recommended by WHO and can replace particular situation where you can't wash your hands. So in hospital acquired HAI is a major problem for patients in healthcare and may impact the duration of treatment, even increasing the risk of mortality. So the prevention of HAI is low income and medium countries range from 5 to 19%. So the most effective way that is used to prevent this is the hand hygiene. So we're going to talk about examples. So in Indonesia, which is a part of middle income countries, HAI prevent reach up to 7.1 organism that cause the infection, most commonly transmitted by the hand of the physicians, nurses and other hospital personnel. Hand hygiene has often been singled out the most important procedure to prevent any infections. So you prevent the infection to give it to other people as well to yourself. So as we discuss the effective way of hand hygiene, so it's effective if your hands are not visibly soiled. So at the end, by using hand rub recommended by WHO due to practical use and education promoted on the function of hygiene in replacing soap. The content on the hand rub we are using. So the hand rub that we are using is 70% ethyl alcohol and 0.1% is soap used in this bottle. So the alcohol effects are bactericidal against gram-positive and gram-negative branches. So the result shows that cleaning your hand with the rub is effective 59.55% times. And there's a difference. So after doing the hand hygiene, the result that research shows that the average reduction in the total bacterial count will come down to 60%. So this is a proven hand rub gel which is effective in Australia and which has been certified by WHO. Thank you.